really long though, I'm not gonna lie. But let's take a look at it though.
If you followed the world of Minecraft live streaming, there's a good chance
Finster.
you've heard of
Yeah,
F1nnster,
of
who during the
course.
pandemic blew up in popularity by performing a bit of cross-dressing as a woman fairly convincingly while keeping his deep voice intact. While he originally presented this as a humorous gag and swore to be cisgendered, as time went on the story took an odd turn, as the streamer started hanging out with trans individuals who would eventually be accused of crimes against minors. On top of this, a
Oh shit. Okay. All right. I see.
wealthy donors started appearing in his chat, offering him an ever-increasing amount of money to fully embrace his female persona, to the point that they legitimately offered $300,000 for F1nnster to get a breast augmentation surgery.
What?
Within 5 years, what started as a supposed goof was now the young British lad's entire life. Presenting as a woman full-time, getting intensive gender-affirming surgery, struggling with alcohol abuse, and filming hardcore adult content for those willing to pay.
Did they basically kind of groom Finster into this because of the money?
So what on earth happened? Surprisingly, no other YouTuber has covered this story in depth, which is why I wanted to go down the rabbit hole myself. But the deeper I went, I realized why no other person wanted to touch it with a 10-foot pole. So because of that, I need
Really?
to start this video with a disclaimer. I want to let it be known that the video today is not a cultural critique on the greater trans community, but rather the story of one person. I understand that this
I
upload will be
see.
controversial
I
regardless of how I
see.
preface it, but I still feel it's an
I
interesting tale
see.
that has a right to be told. So with that out of the way, let's begin.
I can see why people
F1nnster
don't
was
like it.
born Jude Howarth on April 21st, 2000.
What
The
the
earliest
fuck? This guy, wait, this guy was born in the 2000s? My god, dude, what a baby. Jesus Christ.
traces of Howarth online are fittingly in Minecraft,
Holy
although
baby.
not on his own account. All the way back in 2014 when he was a teenager, Jude and a friend named Miles created a YouTube channel together called Miles C Gaming. It was initially a place to show off different redstone contraptions they'd built on player versus player faction servers, set to music by the rapper Chief Keef. Other videos attempted to expose hackers they encountered, despite Jude admitting they had also been banned for hacking themselves.
But MCMMO admin was an alt of mine because we played on a server that my main got banned on. So we had to, yeah.
They eventually created a faction called Wings of Jesus with a handful of other
Wings
buddies over
of
Skype.
Jesus.
These types of servers encourage players to raid each other's bases, with one such occurrence being F1nnster's first appearance online. It's worth noting the F1nnster account didn't originally belong to Jude, instead being owned by their friend Finn, hence the name. Howarth's original account was FringeBoy99.
That was my old account, and I feel like that deserves a video on its own because I've had just as long a lifespan on that account as I have on this one.
But when FringeBoy99 got hacked and stolen, he borrowed Finn's account to keep on playing, only for it to become the basis of his entire online identity.
I had a Minecraft account that, I played on for years. My account got hacked. So, Miles, my friend, he said, oh, my friend Finn has a Minecraft account with a rank on the server. Do you want to use his for a little bit until you can buy a new one? I go, what's his username? And he goes, it's F1nnn5ter.
The F1nnster YouTube channel was created in May of 2015, uploading its first video a month later.
Okay.
The young gamer clearly had a knack for designing rather complicated builds, earning respect among the community. As Jude got better at editing, the channel pivoted to Let's Play style content, with the server Revive PvP sponsoring his series early on. This consistency, alongside a good sense of humor, helped F1nnster reach 5,000 subscribers by January 2016.
Not
It wasn't
bad.
limited to just Minecraft either, with Call of Duty and drunk CSGO videos. But uploads slowed down that fall as the teen began studying for university admission. One of the main servers he played on was Brutal Factions, who gave Finn partial ownership for promoting. This arrangement meant every month he'd get paid a percentage of their donations.
Wow.
However, these stopped over time, and the owner ultimately scammed him by filing chargebacks over PayPal. Given F1nnster was still a broke teenager, this understandably caused a lot of stress. He wasn't the only victim either, with another YouTuber roped into the scheme. Their only recourse was in a call-out video that November outlining the betrayal by a former friend.
I talked to him for a while before, and he seemed perfectly fine. It's just
Jesus.
that, yeah, people
That's kind of shitty, so to
people have a dark
having
side
to deal with that
sometimes,
at a young
and
age.
they decide they don't like you.
On the bright side, Jude's schoolwork had eased up and he could now upload at a regular schedule. Over the next 5 months, he posted over 60 videos, with the most successful being a new series called Factions 101. These uploads regularly passed 30,000 views, and by April of 2017, he amassed 10,000 subscribers. This had been his initial goal since starting the channel, and to celebrate, he did a face reveal, beginning with a fake out using a Guy Fawkes mask.
I'm nowhere near as comfortable as I should be recording with the face. I was trying to do face cam for a while, but then I never ended up doing it, probably because it's a bit weird to have the camera pointed straight at your face.
Recorded using his girlfriend's mom's camera, it showcased a new 2,000-pound setup. Evidently, this milestone led him to invest in his aspirations to become a full-time YouTuber, one
When
that
you were
eventually
richer,
paid
so
off. But
that'd be a
until
rich
then,
setup
he
back
continued
then.
to promote servers, with one derided for being pay-to-win, and recorded his various exploits on them. The appeal was a mix of both his personality-driven editing and in-game skill, with old friends like Sagtot being second mic. Since these were public servers, fans could log on and play alongside them, often trying to attack their bases to no avail.
I don't really want you guys to buy me things, because capes cost money. They're like $5, are they? I don't know. It's just it's money. I don't really want you guys to send me money. So to send me things worth money. So don't be going all sugar daddy on me.
This is also about when F1nnster cross-dressed for the first time. As per Jude's recollection, they never had anything in childhood for it. But during the UK equivalent of their high school years, he became that one kid when you're 15 that popular girls wanted to put makeup on.
You know,
When you were getting dolled up by the girls in high school, did that ever lead to some action on your part?
well, okay.
I bet.
I dated a girl that was big on that for like a couple weeks, and there was another one that was a little bit. I've gotten better at it. It's surprisingly a good tactic, just in case you guys wanted to buy a wig and a dress.
I don't know what's going on in Europe.
What the fuck?
In 2017, Jude got an email from a female clothing brand who expressed interest in sponsoring his channel. They specifically said he'd be a perfect fit for their clothes, which he found funny enough to agree with. Once the items arrived, his girlfriend at the time did his makeup and he wore them on camera. Although the video was never released, he's since shown excerpts of the footage on stream. A clip of him wearing makeup also appears briefly in an early Q&A.
Are you a male? No.
It wasn't long after this that Jude dropped out of his studies. You see, in the UK, after students finish secondary school at 16, they have more choice over their next path to take. Jude explained that upon reaching 20,000 subscribers, he spoke with a school administrator about leaving. His confidence made the conversation go surprisingly smoothly, and with his parents' permission, he stopped studying to pursue YouTube full-time. As Jude got more comfortable, the face cam became a staple, and several videos from this era got upwards of 100 to 200,000 views. Finn collaborated with other creators frequently as well, even receiving a Minecraft diss track.
Your mum, she's a slag, caught fame off Russia or what little fame he had, but your views are low, does that make you sad?
These interactions
remember.
proved popular among viewers who enjoyed watching their dynamic. Given his background of using hacked clients, it's perhaps no surprise Finn liked to engage in a little bit of trolling. In mid-2017, he was contacted by Jack Sucks at Life, who at the time had
Jack Sucks at
300,000 subscribers. Jack owned the popular server Skycade and messaged Finn about playing on it. This offer included a special admin role which Finn used to grief the entire server. Another name that appeared around this time was Skeppy, a fellow up-and-comer who made trolling and PvP content. Their friendship began after he satirized Skeppy's editing style, getting the larger creator's attention. The duo collaborated that December with their first video together,
There's a lot that I
garnering
don't know
over
about so
600,000
far.
views.
It's kind of a little bit
They
crazy to
filmed
hear
many more
this.
throughout 2018,
The history of
helping both
F1nnster.
Skeppy and F1nnster reach new heights. Finn's channel passed 50k subs by the end of the year, while Skeppy reached 500,000. Jude began 2 new series, Minecraft Prisons and Skyblock, uploading every week. The former consistently netted 500 to 800,000 impressions.
That was my temple.
5 seconds ago, I'm gonna be an immortal. Everyone's gonna respect me.
On Skeppy's channel, they did skits and competed in various challenges. Skep played with many other YouTubers around this time, such as Technoblade, A60, and Bad Boy Halo.
Technoblade.
They reached heights of 10 to 20 million views, the sign of a broader shift among the audience. Meanwhile, Finn was banned from the popular server Hypepixel for a year after being caught using a hacked client. After years spent out of favor, Minecraft was about to see a massive revival in popularity on the platform. 2 major contributors to this were Call Me Carson's SMP Live, which began in March of
Oh my god, Call Me Carson? Damn, that's a throwback and a half. I wonder what happened to him, to be honest.
2019, and PewDiePie's Let's Play Minecraft series a month
Holy
later.
cow, dude.
At the end
Minecraft
of June,
PewDiePie?
Keemstar launched
Man,
Minecraft
dude.
Mondays, a team-based cash prize tournament featuring an even larger roster of popular online figures. Following SMP Live was SMP Earth. But easily the most explosive was Dream, who initially made it big tracking down the seed to PewDiePie's single-player world. By the end of the year, he'd grown from less than 10,000 subs to over 1 million. During the 2020 lockdowns, when everyone was stuck inside, he launched the Dream SMP to great acclaim. With heavy emphasis on roleplay, it spawned a massive obsessive fandom. These so-called stans led Dream to usurp all who came before him, getting crowned the most popular Minecraft YouTuber of all time.
Yeah.
That brings us back to F1nnster, who,
Then you found out he was kind of cringe, though.
while not part of Dream's SMP, played with several members during the MC Championships. But first, we should probably take a step back, because over that same period of time, F1nnster went from your average Minecraft YouTuber to a frequent crossdresser. The story goes that after losing a bet with a friend in January of 2019, he agreed to let them make him look like a woman. Afterward,
I wonder what happened if he would have not lost that bet or so back then. I wonder, you know, the butterfly effect or so, if you change the most smallest thing or so. I'd be curious. Wonder what would have happened in today's day and age.
Jude went on the site Omegle to troll people, which subsequently became a video.
Hi.
Hi.
I remember this.
laughing?
I actually
Gorgeous.
remember this. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I did not expect that.
I'm f***ing with people, don't worry about it.
You were so, like, you're like pretty in a wig, and then you talked, and I was like, I'm a terrible person. I laughed. I'm like, what if he was actually, like, transgender?
Given how different this was to his normal content, it was posted to his second channel, which wasn't linked anywhere on his main. Consequently, it stayed largely unnoticed for almost a year. The thing is, Jude increasingly referenced cross-dressing on Twitter, even dressing up again for a friend's birthday party. By October, F1nnster was live streaming regularly and held a poll asking what costume he should wear for Halloween. His viewers overwhelmingly voted e-girl, leading him to try on 4 different outfits while playing Minecraft. It was a hit, breaking personal records and introducing main channel fans to e-girl F1nnster.
Maybe it does really take best man to be best girl, to be honest. Maybe it does.
And it should be noted at this point that most people try to laugh
Maybe
it
it
off
just does,
as an
actually, to be
ongoing
honest.
gag
Maybe
for the
it actually
channel.
does.
Jude held a similar poll around Christmas, this time doing so while playing Minecraft with A60. It included his first ever walk, where he joined from his phone and stream himself, well, walking.
Totally.
An edited version of the VOD was posted December 29th, and almost immediately went viral.
I remember that fucking profile picture. Holy shit, dude.
I became an e-girl in Minecraft.
That's
Bad
a blast
idea.
from the past.
You look amazing.
Thank you, I know I do.
You do look extraordinary.
Hey Finn's family, are you aware his is wearing a bra right now?
No.
It is Halloween all over again.
You are in it.
The stream's virality led many to discover F1nnster's previous Omegle
He's
trolling
26.
video, which was so popular he'd make it a series, filming 3 more throughout 2020. Today, each installment has over 3 million views, with the second surpassing 9 million. To state the obvious, people were mesmerized by how well Jude could pass for a girl, juxtaposed to his deep voice. And given how much attention he got, it's unsurprising this stunt became a reoccurring gag. That February, he streamed with the title Minecraft But It's Valentine's Day and I'm a Lonely E-Girl. It doubled his previous viewer record. A tweet of Jude in makeup from this period also got 2,600 likes. In May, he'd start broadcasting on Twitch, which is also around when his e-girl alter ego got the name Rosie Evergreen.
I don't
This
know, you can do the
newfound
math,
attention
so.
fed the algorithm, leading
Like I
him
said,
to
he's
surpass
26 right now.
300k
Pretty
subs.
simple to do the
With
math.
his content moving towards streaming, his main channel was gradually retired
Yep.
in favor of F1nnster Live.
I remember this
The latter
one.
reached 100k in the same time frame. Nearly all these highlights were related to cross-dressing, with the most famous being Finn went out in public dressed as a girl, at over 2.7
I remember
million
this
views.
one too as well.
Other clips show F1nnster following hair tutorials as well as taking gender and sexuality quizzes.
Over the last year, have you had dreams in which you were the opposite gender?
No.
Never.
Dreams?
I find that really hard to
I've
believe.
thought about it, but I've never had dreams about it.
All right. Never.
Does that? Should we say a few times? I don't know. I don't know.
Have you had a few times though?
I've thought about it while awake, never while I was asleep.
For the record, he scored 75% heterosexual, and then on another test, 28% for having gender dysphoria.
Gender dysphoria? What is gender dysphoria? I have no idea what that is. I've never heard of that in my entire life.
No. Holy shit.
Oh no! In the same way he started doing the bit as a dare,
Vissy.
Jude added a stream goal to dress up as a girl for a week. The first was set at $10,000, with accessories for every 1k each. Finn would achieve 4 of these in a single day, and ended up
What?
dressing as a woman for 2 weeks instead. It wasn't long until Jude was being paid to wear bikinis, fake boobs, wax his legs on camera, and dress up as Twitter femboy memes.
Okay, what are you?
It's where you don't feel right as the gender you are born as. It's the rabbit hole that leads you to being trans. I see.
You
I
wearing?
see.
A bikini?
You're wearing a bikini?
Maybe.
Per the official F1nnster wiki, formerly where cleavage was visible, he used a Mrs. Kisses bra to push his fat together and wore a normal bra on top. In other cases, he used silicone breasts bought from Amazon, no particular brand. On some streams, he used double-sided pads to glue them to his chest. This was done by placing the pads further back, therefore enabling more chest fat to be pushed together, giving the illusion of cleavage. For small breasts, it was sometimes just a padded bra without anything inside. I'm trying to envision what the person looked like who wrote this message. Anyway, during this era, many of the people he brought on stream were old friends from high
I never
school,
let gooners
including
dictate
the very same
what I do
girls
around
who would
here.
first do his makeup back in the day.
Ever since I was in high school, there was always like girls trying to put makeup on me and she's the girls.
It's the girls.
These streams proved so popular that he eventually made a new goal called Girl Month, set at 15 grand. The name is pretty self-explanatory, although there was one key difference, that he'd continue wearing makeup and dresses off-stream.
What?
Girl Month was reincarnated on several occasions, as Finn spent more and more time living as a female. There was rarely breaks, with the exception being when he recorded Minecraft videos, consciously dialing things back as these were targeted at a younger audience. Eventually his hair grew long enough that he no longer had to rely on wigs. After reaching another 10k, he locked all of his men's clothes in a box, with the box becoming another reoccurring goal. Finally, to tie it all back to the Dream SMP, during the MC Championships, he went viral for cosplaying as gender-swapped versions of several members. The first instance of this was of Technoblade, with the late YouTuber's reaction immortalized on video.
No, it's on double camera, because it's live and I'm streaming it, so it's double streamed.
War is good. Sun Tzu. That's a quote.
Oh no.
This is
War is good.
This is truly the worst. Alright, so back to Minecraft.
That list went on to include Tubbo, Captain Sparkles, and Dream, with female Dream amassing over 135,000 likes on Twitter. This new cash flow was...
Oh, I was wondering where that was from. I've seen this thumbnail before. This thumbnail. I've seen this one right here before. Yeah, I've seen this thumbnail on like a couple of meme compilations. I was always wondering where that origin came from. Wow, at least now I know, to be honest. Came from this person.
This new cash flow was life-changing, and Finn was able to move into
Of course it was life-changing. I'm like, why wouldn't it be life-changing for having that cash flow? Let's be honest here.
a new house that summer. Despite his recent dedication to living life as an e-girl, Jude was adamant that he was not trans and did not experience gender dysphoria. This sentiment can be seen in the comments, who emphasized that someone can cross-dress without being trans. Of course, that's
I'm like, yeah, you can cross-dress and not be trans, but you know, I think it kind of led towards that for him specifically. So I think it's because the people that he surrounds himself with, I think they kind of like changed his mind overall.
Stop many in the trans community from feeling gender envy and embracing him as one of their own. Some simply viewed him as their goal for passing, while others labeled him an egg. For those unaware, the slang egg refers to a trans person who has yet to realize their identity. The extended metaphor likens helping someone realize they're not cis to cracking their egg. I had to go down some weird rabbit holes for researching this video.
What?
Whether or not this applied to F1nnster would be a constant point of contention moving forward, as many felt it simply wasn't the public's place to make that decision. As for Minecraft, in July of 2020, F1nnster, Skeppy, and 3 other creators formed a group called iDots, starting their own SMP.
Oh, I thought
it
that
only
said
lasted 3
idiot
months,
for a
as
minute
after
there.
one member left in October, the rest followed suit. All videos on the iDots channel have since been deleted, alongside a now deactivated Twitter. No further explanation was given for its seemingly abrupt ending. Jude was later invited to play on the Epic SMP in January 2021. There he'd cross paths with names like Jay Schlatt, Eddie Burback, Baby No Money, Carl Jacobs, Too Mad, Jaded Animations, and Aaron Hansen.
All the stars are here!
Despite this, his stream was now firmly placed in the just chatting section of Twitch as his girl moding completely took over. In 2021, a site was created to track Finn's cross-dressing called Is It Girl Month. With this extremely weird and parasocial archive, we can calculate exactly how many times and for how long F1nnster lived as the other gender. The first Girl Week took place in August of 2020. A month later, his girlfriend at the time, Meowriza, made her debut on stream.
She needs HRT now? Maybe. But it's Rose's decision. It's best to not pressure a person into doing it. It might turn them off, you know? Or it might not be healthy for them.
The two met in person for the first time on 9/11, and a month later became physically.
How ironic that that day is the day that they met. What the hell? what a something feels very off today.
Intimate.
Yeah, we haven't actually known each other for too long. We met for the first time September 11, 2020. It's not even a joke. I usually
That is so weird. Thank you for the follow. Welcome.
do stupid jokes, but we actually met September 11, 2020.
That reminds me of that tragedy.
Getting all my norm clips in on this one. Of the 83 streams documented on the Is It Girl Month site that year, 61 of them were spent as his Rose female alter ego. That said, it should be reiterated, Girl Month meant he'd continue dressing up off-stream.
Has he
So
fully
Jude actually
transcended
spent
over or
87
something?
days total as a woman in 2020. 2021 began with a brief hiatus, likely due to the start of the Epic SMP. But February onward, nearly every stream had him cross-dressing. An exception to this was July. Initially, the people who usually did his nails and eyeliner weren't available. Then F1nnster got COVID. He made up for this in August with another Girl Month, which included playing with Dream and Bad Boy Halo. It continued for the rest of the year, spending 81 out of the 91 streams as Rose. His female form even began appearing on the main F1nnster channel, which perhaps isn't that surprising given this was his actual hair now instead of a wig. The crossover started with captions referencing his alter ego, until May when he posted a video wearing eyeliner. No longer having to take breaks from e-girl mode, finally bridging this gap made it a lot easier for Jude to record new videos, and the account became far more active afterward. As you can probably guess, it was only a matter of time before his family found out. On the PKA podcast, Jude explained that before telling his parents, there was a brief moment where they got a glimpse into his double life.
I was in a car ride. I was on like a bit of a road trip with my mum, and I was in the passenger seat. She was driving, and I was just going through my photos, and there was a selfie that I took, And my mom happened to look over at that 1 minute and she go, "Oh, who's she?" I went, "Oh, my friend."
Meanwhile, Jude's dad put the pieces together after finding women's underwear in the laundry.
And he saw them in the laundry. And he didn't assume, by the way, I've just thinking about this now. He didn't assume I had a girlfriend. He immediately went to, "Oh, he's a cross-dresser. Okay, cool." That was it.
So that dreaded conversation went remarkably smoothly, and
It's because his dad automatically knows that he can't pull pussy. That's the reason. That's the reason why, you know. His dad immediately know, oh, I know my son is so much of a nerd, I don't think he can pull any women, so.
his mom, dad, and sister went on to make occasional appearances on his stream.
Dad, would like to say hi to the chat, whoever you are.
Hello.
Hello. I've not seen you for a while.
You haven't actually, no.
No.
I've been making Minecraft videos and that.
Oh my god, his dad is like, he's like rubbing his ass. He's like, oh fuck, what did I do, man? What happened to my son? I'm just making fun of it. So.
Are you live streaming now?
Yeah. See all that. That's all them.
With his family in on the shtick, this trend of Rose taking over grew exponentially. In 2021, he lived 175 days as a woman, while in 2022, that grew
days?
to 219. Similar.
Actually, to be honest, you know the funny thing about it specifically is that I had a friend or so who was literally like I told this story before, right? This was like many years ago, right? In VR chat, right? Where my friend pretended to be a girl. It was a lot longer than that or so, but you know, fun. Like he finally understood how it is, like how girls are in VR chat during the heyday, I guess you could say kind of like the golden era of VR chat, I guess, where there was just some very strange ass people, to be frankly honest. And like he never like nobody convinced him to transition or they questioned him or anything like that. No, he was straight up like he's like, no, I fucking love pussy, you know, and like it's like, no, I'm a fucking man is basically what he is. But he liked to troll and everything, using the girl voice and everything like that, right? He's the guy that can do like different voices. He can do Captain Price's voice. He can do like the Mickey Mouse. He can do Yoda, and he could do a female voice. So he likes to he'll meme or so where he'll one conversate like in one sentence or a conversation or so he'll talk as a girl, and then another conversation he'll pull out Captain Price's voice, and then he'll just do all of this other stuff in general, right? And he just liked doing like the voices and everything like that because he liked the whole it's kind of voice acting, but it's kind of like, you know, you're kind of mimicking other people's voices or so. I don't know what's it called or so. Where you're trying to, like, you know, because he was trying to learn how to do Joe Swatson or so from the Family Guy, but he said that voice was a little bit difficult to do. There you go, impersonation. There you go. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, that's what he was trying to do or so. He was just trying to do like impersonations and stuff like that. So trying to do like all that stuff. He could do a pretty good New Yorker accent, like I'm walking here, you know, like he can do a pretty good accent for that one. And it's kind of like basically that's all he basically did in general. But no one ever like there's like no weird people that he surrounded himself with where they were trying to force him to question his like gender shit or anything like that, because none of that shit like really existed back then. Like that wasn't very common compared to how it is now. Honestly, I can never mimic voices or accents. I can only be myself. Oh, I can do some of it. He taught me some. I can do like a Bayou Southern accent type or so. It's a little bit tricky to pull it off, but I can do something of that sort of nature. But yeah.
90% of his streams in 2022 were done in drag. During this transition, it also correlated with a change in his audience. Whereas before his fan base seemed closer to other Minecraft streamers and saw the cross-dressing as a funny bit, there was now a distinct shift to homoerotic simping. For example, here's F1nnster reacting to a rap song by self-described simp Joyput.
Everybody treat him like he sending weird shit to his PO box. People acting thirsty, just nah, stop.
Finn not only gave him VIP status in chat, but Joyput went on to become the main editor of his livestream channel. And to be clear, I say homoerotic because of the emphasis Jude himself put on being a man, from sharing his birth certificate to starting streams with photos of himself as a young lad. Many channels emerged with names like F1nnster e-girl or Femboy fanpage, showing Jude's sissy bimboification over the years.
Frank Castle, you ever go to high school with him? He's known to sissy hypno.
Several of these users would be
Sissy hypno? What the hell is sissy hypno? I've never... Bro, there are some terms in here that I do not understand whatsoever.
become prominent members of his community. Take, for example, the head mod of his subreddit, Amoya Amoya Amoya.
Amoya, Amoya, Amoya.
Amoya first gained prominence as a dedicated clipper, uploading viral clips of F1nnster moaning and jiggling his boobs. Jude
What in the hell?
engaged with this individual directly, with a community.
I don't know if I would personally put that person as like a mod or something like that, but that's just personally me though. that's just me though.
In-joke being Amoya's fascination with his feet. As the
What?
obsessed fan would say, he's sure to single me out when he wears certain types of shoes. So gross. Wish he'd stop. The next to ascend was a user named 416Hobbit, who made what he called artistic tributes to Rose. The first few were essentially AMVs with titles like Give Me a Reason to Love You and Parasocial Witchcraft. He caught Finn's attention after topping the leaderboard for gifted subs. These tributes evolved into higher effort, community-driven productions that are somehow even creepier. Just take a look at Democracy Fails for F1nnster, centering on a poll Jude held for his next outfit. The video uses AI to mimic news reporters for the OFN, the Only Fin Network. It's extremely bizarre and unsettling.
And it started out innocently enough. Finn decided to allow his viewers to select the outfit he would wear as his now signature persona Rose Elizabeth Evergreen, through a democratic vote in a formal poll.
If this uncanniness wasn't enough, the upload essentially recounts how the poll was weighted by mods to appear more wholesome, with the majority of viewers voting for the skimpiest outfit.
Between the ones on the left, who wish to see Rose as the wholesome girl next door, and those on the right, who prefer Rose as a they'd like to fuck.
However, by far the most notorious of these fans was a user by the name of 10 Muses.
But I mean, by the way, as a look... Oh,
A good
hell.
daddy looks after his princess. Untuck.
Thank you, Daddy.
10 Muses, who will refer henceforth as 10, first emerged on July 5th, 2022, when he gifted Finn 100 subs. No strings attached, but if you feel like it, give me a sexy smile and say, "Thank you, 10 Muses," in a soft, sexy voice. Jude, while playing along...
I got chills off of that one, to be honest. I got chills off of that one. Oh, okay.
was understandably shocked by the large donation.
Jesus Christ! Sorry, sorry, I blanked. Brain short-circuiting, dude. Oh my god, let me look good at least. Jeez. Thank you for the $1,000. Thank you, Ten Muses.
But even more shocking was that the donations kept on coming. While going over outfits he owned, he...
I see. So the money kept rolling in, and that's why he kept pursuing this for more and more and more money.
remarked that
It's
one
always
was
money at the
effectively
end of the day,
underwear and
chat.
likely to get him in trouble with
changes
Twitch.
somebody.
10 reappeared with another $1,000 donation, demanding Jude wear the magical girl outfit. When he refused, the mysterious donor dropped another grand, eventually giving enough for him to cave.
You want...
Man dropped $2 grand for this guy to wear a magical girl outfit? Who is this person?
Me to wear that? This is the skirt that you want me to wear? This? No! What the f? 10? Oh my god. 10? Why are you gifting me so much? What is your job? What company do you own? Apple?
No skirt.
Now wearing the skimpy anime girl outfit, 10 donated yet another $1,000.69 with the message, "Quick spin for rear view, then untuck." Jude once again refused, leading Ten to give $100 before asking, "Would implants for a year be fun for you, or a hardship to be endured? Not just a casual question." In response, F1nnster said, "It depends." As it turns out, Ten Muses was not a longtime fan, but someone who stumbled upon F1nnster while browsing femboy streams. But as
What? Man, sometime I was born being the wrong gender, to be honest. Man, I should have been a guy the entire time, to be frankly honest. Fucking A, dude. Fuck. Fuck, man. Life is unfair sometimes, you know? Life is just unfair for some people. Shit. Is it too late to grow a penis, chat?
luck would have it, Jude had joked in the past that for $300,000 he would get breast implants for a year. Astonishingly, Ten Muses had that money and was willing to negotiate terms. Of course, such an agreement...
We just gotta support the bros, but that just means you guys are gay. That just proves... That literally proves that all guys are gay.
would require a contract and lawyers.
You guys are
Finn
gay.
and his mod Seth
You guys are straight up
contacted
gay.
10 Muses in private.
You guys are
to
not
vet him.
beating the
They
allegation
received
that
his
you guys are
ID,
gay.
saw him on video, and verified he not only had the money, but was completely serious. As a result, Jude seriously thought about getting breast implants, deeply conflicted over making such a life-altering decision. But then again, it was life-altering money. After researching what that process...
No. If someone donated to me that amount of money or so, the first thing I'm going to do is buy Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That's the first thing I'm gonna do, is go buy me some goddamn Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Yeah, I bet you I bought a biscuit. I'm gonna go buy me some cards at that very moment.
entailed, he ultimately decided against it.
If you're a dude that I'm 100% gay for your voice, well, here, watch, hold on. For those who don't know, watch. Here, I'll show you guys. I show you guys my amazing $10,000 voice changer that I have. Hold on, give me a second. Hold on. Wait. Oh no, this is not the one. Is it? Oh, it is. Is that the one? Yeah, that is the one. Okay. I might see, watch. I'm gonna turn it on and I'm gonna be,
yeah, man, shit, man. Like I see, man, this is my voice changer, bro. I have to play it up, you know? Shit, man. I'm telling you. This is the true voice, okay? All right? This is what I sound like, okay? It's like Onicha, pull up, you know? That's basically it, man. Like straight up. Like this is the $10,000 voice changer right here, okay? All right. That's why I can't afford shit around here, because I gotta pay $10,000 for this fucking voice changer every fucking month, man. Shit, it's a pain in the ass. Trust me.
Trust me. It's something, okay? All right. It's a thing of wonders, all right? Shh, don't tell the YouTube audiences, okay? Shh, don't tell them I got voice changer, okay?
Realizing it was much more intensive than he expected.
Finn, I am proud of you. You made the correct decision. Implants are not a bit for the internet. It's a serious decision.
I thought about it, chat.
So just be yourself.
That's the most insane thing. I spent an...
Hey, thank you for the 95 stream streak. I only buy 401k for...
It was always Finn's call. It's his body and he should do whatever he likes.
Unfortunately,
this
was
another
far from the
1K?
end of 10 Muses' reign over the stream. In fact, on July 27th, he made another proposal. This time, he would send $300,000 if...
I'll give you 300k to perfect the girl voice? There is actually no way that this person actually gave this person 300k. There's no shot. I don't believe it, dude. That is an absurd amount of fucking money, to be honest. That's scary, dude. That's fucking scary, dude. That's actually really scary to be receiving that much money.
Dude perfected his girl voice. Once again, Finn's girl voice had been discussed for years among fans. His inability to talk femininely was a reoccurring gag. He tried to learn several times, even meeting with instructors, but failed as he found it too cringe to practice. But with that amount of cash on the table, F1nnster agreed, and committed to an arrangement where he'd get 300 grand in exchange for learning how to sound like a girl. This time his instructor was a woman named Kim, who helped trans women with vocal training.
Kim does vocal training. She has helped a lot of trans women. And for my purposes, there's quite a lot of overlap. Again, for people that may not know, I'm not trans, but I am trying to learn a girl's voice while I look like this. There's overlap.
Yeah, the process is cringe, but the results will be based.
You might think that with this agreement in place, Ten would be satisfied, but no. Instead, the whale continued donating, showering Jude with attention.
Who the fuck is this guy? Is this guy some like Saudi Arabian prince or something?
Crushing any sub or donation goal on stream. He also began sending gifts to F1nnster's P.O. box, including diamond earrings worth $10,000 and a pink dress reading Daddy's Princess.
Oh my. Oh my. Okay. Alright then.
Before long, the two were having back and forths through donations, calling Jude a good girl while he responded by calling him Daddy.
Sorry.
No, if I had somebody doing this to me, I'd be like, look, man, I appreciate the support, but I'm gonna have to shut this down, to be honest, immediately. I'm getting a little bit uncomfortable with the amount of money that this person is donating to him.
Only have eyes for Finn.
Thank you, Daddy.
Side view, legs crossed.
I can't do that. I am incredibly straight. I'm a manly man. I'm a very, very straight, super straight, you could say.
Who's a good girl?
Me, Daddy. I am a good girl.
Does my princess like her presents?
Yes, I do, Daddy. Yes, I do. Oh my God, yes, I do.
Finn even began wearing a custom pink collar emblazoned with the name Rose.
Be still my heart. Have you enjoyed being Daddy's princess tonight?
Dude, this guy has dropped over $5,000 in this stream. What is happening here? This person dropped over $5 grand. 1,000 every single time. What?
I've enjoyed it very much. Is that a collar? Jesus Christ, it's beefy.
Do you feel different?
I do a bit. I feel expensive.
All of this, mind you, was on a stream where the original intended audience was Minecraft
When you let the
fans
money
who were about
control
the
you?
age
Yeah, no, straight up. He is definitely letting the person who's donating the most money basically control his entire stream, basically.
Expect to really like Dream.
You know, for kids!
If all of that wasn't strange enough, Ten also gifted Finn a small pink plastic chair for children. He then donated $69.69 to say, "That is your timeout chair. It is to teach you to be a good girl when you misbehave. Thank me for helping to make you a good girl even better." After this,
I feel so uncomfortable right now. I really do. I really do feel very uncomfortable.
F1nnster's roleplay with his sugar daddy frequently involved sitting in the timeout chair.
You're misbehaving. Go sit in the chair for a bit. Come back when you're ready to be a good girl.
This is genuinely quite uncomfortable.
If you promise to be a sweet princess, you can come back.
By August, not counting the 300K
That's a week. This is a week. In 1 week, this person makes 7 fucking grand from one person. From one freaking person. What the hell?
agreement, the mysterious 10 Muses had donated 7 grand, alongside 920 gifted subs, making that public.
Oh my god, that's not even counting. This guy donated 12 grand in 1 week? Who the hell is this person, to be honest? To be dropping 12 grand a week. A week.
Total of $12,184.49. That doesn't even include the gifts such as the jewelry. Jude next hit the goal for laser hair removal, with one fan channel noting his quote-unquote backdoor would be smooth, clean, tight, and fresh. There was an instance where a different user named I'm Not Sub donated $1,000. Ten Muses retaliated by one-upping them with a $5K donation reading, "There can only..."
Oh my god, dude, what is this?
Only be one. Jude posted this exchange to his TikTok, remarking, "The sugar daddy wars have begun." Upon learning all this, you might expect F1nnster's viewers would be weirded out by some random sugar daddy taking over the stream. But through my research, I discovered that couldn't be further from the truth. His fans were overwhelmingly on Ten Muses' side, encouraging him every step of the way. And that couldn't be any more apparent than when Jude tried to set a hard boundary. On August 21st, 2022, F1nnster decided to cut him off, restricting his PayPal so that he couldn't donate more than $3 at a time. Jude expressed that after smashing every donation goal, he couldn't keep this going, as otherwise he'd end up having to live as a woman for the rest of his life.
Everything that you see that is blue, I have been dressing like a girl 24/7 on these blue days. And recently, the red days are the days off. We stopped doing days off. If I keep letting him hit these donation goals, I am going to be like this for the rest of the year. That's not gonna happen.
His chat was immediately flooded with users spamming the hashtag #Free10. Unsurprisingly, Ten Muses did not take this well. Through $3 donations, he wrote, "This isn't anywhere close to the same. Change it back now. Daddy is getting angry. I bet some big donations would bring in some viewers. I'm using all of this free time I've got now to plot revenge. You are going to pay, princess. You little brat, I will put you on your knees when I'm back." I would like to remind everyone this was all happening on public social media websites, marked as safe for work and treated as normal, silly content. During the same time, Finn opened another gift from Ten, a pink onesie reading, "I'm a good girl."
I think you are forgetting who the dom is here.
I think I hold a bit more power as of right now, don't you think, chat? I sat in the chair too many times. I say, "Daddy, I have been called princess too many times to let this go."
But just as he was about to open the box containing all of his masculine clothing, Ten Muses made a new offer, one that the streamer just couldn't refuse.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, this is bad. This is bad.
I'll give you 25,000 to leave that box closed.
What? It's completely unboxed. Look, hold on. It's completely open, man. Come on. I was a second away.
After some deliberation and Ten pulling a power move by leaving right after to watch a different femboy stream...
No, this video is an hour and 30 minutes. F1nnster became a porn star at the very end, apparently. So, the rabbit hole is a little bit disturbing, King.
Gave F1nnster his terms.
Unban me immediately. Box stays closed until I say otherwise. Apologize. Profusely. While sitting in chair. You don't deserve the money after your behavior today. Do the above and I make a 25k donation
for transgender equality.
F1nnster agreed, but with one stipulation, that the money wouldn't go to him, but to charity for transgender people. Ten Muses agreed and donated $25,000 to the National Center for Transgender Equality. It's worth noting that in the weeks leading up to this stream, many felt conflicted over how much money Finn was getting, as it could easily be going to better causes. At the time, Ten wrote on Reddit, "That's a hard question to answer publicly without sounding self-aggrandizing. I guess I'll leave it at I think your concerns would be satisfied." Well, this move assuaged those feelings, and to many turned it into a feel-good story with a happy ending. In fact, all those clips I just showed you were edited into comprehensive videos for the F1nnster Live channel, which received over 1.2 million views.
I got donated 300k a stream? One single stream to get 300k? Dude, that's terrifying, dude. I don't know, man.
If you look at the comments of said video, the response is overwhelmingly positive, with many commenters going so far as to praise Ten Muses for what he did. Absolutely based of 10 for not only respecting Finn's decision to not go through with body-altering surgeries he didn't want, but make a massive donation to a trans rights charity. I cannot express how incredible this single person is. 10 is a god among us, and his understanding of Finn's boundaries but willingness to play around has been so much fun to watch. I'm so glad he came to the streams. I feel like I live in crazy land because the way they talk about him, it's like they view everything Ten Muses did as a big joke. I mean, I know Finn is playing along and all, but the reality of what we're seeing here is a really rich dude testing a 22-year-old's boundaries by throwing money at him until he engages in daddy dom baby.
So he was 22 during this time. I see. Thank God I did not stream when I was like super young. I am very happy, to be frankly honest. Like I did content or so, but like the problem is like my friend was the one that did the commentary while I provided the gameplay for it. Take care, Quasar. So I provided the gameplay, but he did the commentary stuff, and that's kind of like basically it.
Girl roleplay. Just because the sugar daddy donated to charity in a last-minute performative gesture doesn't change that from being what happened. I could only find a few even slightly concerned comments, such as one stating, "This is hilarious, but I really hope 10 is just doing this for the comedy, and not genuinely trying to condition Finn into being a massive sub." Yeah, buddy, I'm sure this guy offering $300,000 for him to get breast enlargement surgery is just a big goof. One donation I glossed over is this rather unsettling message in light of his commitment to these life-changing surgeries. Have lipo on your midsection. They can re-inject the fat into your hips or butt for a more feminine figure. Reversible too, maybe a little extreme though. Going back to the stream, to avoid getting back in the pink children's timeout chair, Finn goes downstairs to find a banana before unbanning 10 on PayPal. 10 Muses tests its functionality by donating $1,000. That's how the F1nnster live video ends, and for now, Ware will step away from 10 Muses. Evidently, he isn't going anywhere, and per his demands, Jude spent the rest of 2022 and the entirety of 2023 as a woman. But as that goes on, we'll shift focus to some controversies relating to Jude himself. The first relates to his then-girlfriend, Meowriza. You see, before meeting Finn, Marissa was a trans sex worker on OnlyFans. It was her primary source of income, generating 15 to 20k a month at its peak.
Jesus
the story
Christ.
goes that in 2022, she was desperate to get facial
My lord, I ain't gonna lie though. I'm not gonna lie, they're making a shit ton of money, dude. There are some people who are willing to drop fucking thousands of dollars on these people. My lord, dude, Jesus Christ. Holy cow, oh, Jesus. Maybe I am in the wrong business, to be honest. No, I enjoy VTubing too much.
feminization surgery. This is
I
a
enjoy
popular
VTubing way
procedure
more.
for trans people that often involves remodeling their bones. For her, such an operation would cost approximately 30,000 euros. Unable to afford this, she asked Jude to help. Jude agreed to pay her £5,000 with the stipulation that she had to post on OnlyFans every day for a month. This agreement was put in writing, albeit on a napkin, but still a contract nonetheless. Well, Marissa did post daily for a month, and on March 23rd underwent surgery. However, when she asked F1nnster for the $5,000, he refused to pay up. Instead, Jude revealed that he never intended to give her that money. His intent had actually been to trick her into making the money herself in an attempt to teach her a lesson. Not only did Jude see nothing wrong about this, he refused to budge until 8 months later. That fall, the two met again at a party, and Marissa revealed that she was now in debt due to unpaid taxes. As a result, Jude finally made good on his word and paid what was owed on November 2nd. Despite this, there was clearly bad blood, as weeks later, while on stream, Marissa relitigated the ordeal to the public.
Here's my horror story. When I got facial feminization surgery in March 2022, I asked my rich friend F1nnster, could you please help me? He said no. Paid $0.
Give me 5k.
They bicker throughout this retelling, interrupting each other to correct details or add additional context. In pursuit of fairness, I'll try my best to...
Yeah, there are there are VTubers, right? But those are called lewdtubers. Lewdtubers, like the lewd ones or so, they're not the same as, you know, normal VTubers. You know, there's a difference between your lewdtubers and your VTubers. So personally, I don't lean towards that way, towards the lewdtubers. Like I'll do a sexual joke every so often. Like I'll throw a curveball, right? Like every so often, but it's not consistently, because it's better to have it spaced out throughout different streams or whatever, you know, from time to time, you know. But that's just not the type of person that I am, you know, because I am an adult. We like to do adult jokes every so often, but then, you know, it's just kind of, I'm just a normal type of VTuber who likes the whole lore based thing, creating my character and backstory and stories and characters and whatever other shit, you know. That's kind of like basically it. So
convey both of their perspectives.
for me, there is a limit.
Marissa
for me,
explains that the
personally.
surgery had already been booked before she asked. She then claims to have offered to pay him back, but Jude outright denies this.
So I went to Finn and asked him if he could help me out with it. Did I say I would pay you back?
No.
Your mom is lewd because she's
asked
sucking
him
on
if he would
his
help
dick.
me out with it because it was necessary for me. I had it booked, and for me it was like a life or death. Realistically, for most trans people, it's life or death, and at this point.
At the time, Marissa had 20,000 euro in her bank, so Jude felt she could afford it. They agree her OnlyFans had been inactive for months, which Marissa blamed on ADHD.
At the end of the month, he said, I tricked you. You're not gonna get it. He said, you're not gonna get it. I said, you signed a contract. He said, you're not gonna get it, but I...
Oh my god. 25,000 is the goal. 38,000 was achieved. Holy shit, that is crazy to see that, to be honest. Do you guys see this? Do you guys see this specifically? Girl month and Christmas? 35 days to go, and they fucking broke that record.
made you money regardless because you posted. He, to this day, thinks he was doing me a favor because technically, through manipulation, he made me money. He did give it to me in the end, like a year later, but at the moment when it happened, he was adamant about,
you'll never see anything
yes,
like that
I tricked
here.
you and I lied to you, but it was for a good cause.
While Jude clarifies he no longer felt he was in the right here, he still defended his rationale.
I did let my career go down because I was mentally ill at the
And
time.
that's the sort of thing that would get worse and worse if you stopped completely. Because I knew also when you were going to do the surgery, you were going to be out of commission for a month or
It
two.
is a fair play. Look, it is totally fair. He made me post. He made me save my account by making me post. But you could have still done that and given me the money that you promised.
I manipulated Meowriza to do something good for herself.
Now, Jude pointed out that after the surgery, Marissa bought a Toyota Supra, refuting the notion that the surgery left her bankrupt.
Jesus Christ, I can never understand with these people, like these famous people and getting these kinds of cars and everything. I'm just like, I don't really need something like that. I just kind of want to fix my old car and then put like a, I would like to customize it and then put an anime wrapping around it, and that's kind of like pretty much it, so.
Her financial turmoil stemmed from unpaid taxes, which she blamed on her accountant.
Why are you lying? You're actually lying. You
bought a Supra.
I did buy a Supra 1 year after the surgery.
It's all the same money.
And I bought the Supra before he gave me the money.
Honestly, it just sounds like this person is a mess. Marissa is noticeably loose on the timeline, as she claims the surgery happened a year ago when it took place in March of 2022. This stream is dated November 2022. That means it's impossible for her Supra to have been bought a year after the surgery. This clip stayed in relative obscurity until several years later when it resurfaced as a call-out on Twitter. Due to the OnlyFans aspect, it was recontextualized as sexual exploitation, sparking widespread outrage.
What the fuck?
I want all F1nnster defenders to see this. He literally coerced a suicidal woman into sex work under the false promise of paying for her surgery, and then acted like he did a good thing for giving her the motivation to post. He is literally laughing thinking about it. Deeply evil. Finn would respond in a video titled, "I got cancelled on Twitter."
I'm a sex trafficker, Chad. I have been cancelled on Twitter, and I do actually mean genuinely cancelled.
F1nnster claimed the clip had been misinterpreted, as they were supposedly both doing a bit.
What you don't realize is that we're obviously doing a bit! Oh my god, we are so obviously doing a bit during this.
Finn then offered a new explanation that he was unable to pay Meowriza at the time because he had just bought a house. In this recount, once Finn got the money, he immediately paid her per his contractual obligations.
I couldn't pay her, and then as soon as I got paid, as soon as I had money in the account after the tax had cleared, because my year end is in August, the month after! Terrible timing, yeah. Which, by the way, she knows about. And also, this isn't an accusation from Riza. This is just Twitter being mad about something that no party cares about. Sorry, I'm pressed about this, chat. And then I immediately paid her.
Now, even if you don't fully side with Meowriza, this new explanation makes absolutely zero sense in the context of the original clip. First of all, it's not much of a bit when they're both legitimately arguing, but hey, F1nnster's not exactly known for being good at distinguishing what's a bit or not, so I'll give him a pass there. The claim of having just bought a house was never brought up in the initial argument either. I went through old streams to see if his background changed at all, but no, he's lived in the same house from at least January 2021
but I never
to
knew that
January
F1nnster,
2023.
started doing
Meowriza's
porn,
surgery was in March of 2022, and the receipt of Finn's payment is dated that November, so his new timeline doesn't track at all. Finally, near the end, you can hear him stammering off while describing how they got on the subject of taxes. The way he tells it, they were just having a chill conversation about paying taxes. But from Meowriza's recount, the thing happening in the background was a party, and that she quote-unquote confronted that motherfucker.
1 month ago, I confronted him and said, "Motherfucker, why don't you just give me the money?" And then he did. At the end of the day, after he made roughly 500k from Twitch donations.
The brazenness of
Doesn't really feel like a bit though, to be honest.
Which F1nnster is misrepresenting clips we can still watch ourselves is baffling. And to be clear, this is coming from a person who loves to mock people that have false moral outrage on Twitter. It's absurd to call him a sex trafficker over this, but it does speak to how desensitized he'd become to the idea of sex work, where he saw nothing wrong with tricking a friend into getting back into OnlyFans. Truly the work of a modern-day Tom Sawyer. Finn confessed the scandal kept him up for days, in part because he couldn't get in contact with Meowriza. They did eventually chat, with the public assured they were both still friends and the matter had been resolved. He ends the video by concluding it was a mistake to respond at all, and that he should have simply ignored the callouts and acted like it never happened.
No, that's
I messaged a friend of mine
XQC.
called Pyrocynical, and I said, "What the f***? Can you help me? I haven't, I've texted Riza, and she's just been offline. Can you fucking help, dude?" And he went, dude, you're going insane. You're ranting about this."
While this controversy was undoubtedly a trash fire, it pales in comparison to what came next. In February 2022, F1nnster posted a screenshot of a fan-made rose cake compilation. This got a reply from John Hollywood, a famous ex-transgender porn star with over 300,000 followers. He previously went by the name Ella and uses the online alias SodaCat and ToonSoda. The two flirted over both Twitter and Discord before meeting up in February of 2023 to hang out on stream.
Sniff the chair, you have to? I'm fighting my inner demons right now, man.
Soda!
What? Ooh.
This wholesome interaction sadly took a darker turn when in August, a prolific pedo named Orion Grant Passmore, better known as Giggly Goon Clown, was hacked, leading all of his Discord DMs to be leaked online. This cache of logs revealed that the Goon Clown was in direct contact with John Hollywood. These messages revealed that John intentionally tried to make himself look like a little boy, and that he got off on the idea of exposing minors to explicit material. No, that is not an exaggeration. Jean can be seen here talking about EPI, which is short for something so dark I really have no interest in talking about here more than
EPI? Never heard of that, to be honest.
I have to. But in short, Orion and Jean had graphic and specific private conversations about wanting to groom people as well as sharing drawings of said subjects. It's worth noting Jean at the time was attempting to pivot to Twitch, which is likely part of why he wanted to collaborate with F1nnster at all. Whether or not that was related to potentially accessing a younger demographic is up to you. To be clear, while these messages are real and Jean was in the Goon Clown's Discord server for years, that was largely the extent of his involvement. That's not me giving him credit, I just have to be clear about what exactly we're talking about here. The depravity of what was in these leaks goes much further, reaching depths of psychosexual sadism, grooming, and other disturbing criminal activities. And in case there's any doubt, Jean confirmed the authenticity of the messages in a statement to Turkey Tom. In the aftermath of these revelations, heavy scrutiny was placed on all of the people who were associated with him in the past. This notoriously included a picture of Hollywood with both F1nnster and Ava Chris Tyson of Mr. Beast fame. The photo was taken in April of 2023 when Chris invited F1nnster to Tokyo during a company trip. Jean was F1nnster's +1, leading Chris to throw F1nnster under the bus while also admitting to having a crush on him. I invited the person I was kind of friends with because they had just started HRT, and I also had a crush on them. They asked if they could bring a friend. I met the person maybe 3 times total before I realized they were into each other, and I left because I felt like I had been used for a free date to Japan, and kind of was left as a third wheel. I just want to point out it's crazy that Chris is trying to frame flying a person out on Mr. Beast's dime as a story about him being a victim since he didn't get laid. While neither F1nnster nor Chris were
That's wild. That is crazy. I did not even knew about this, to be honest. There's a lot of things I don't know about
connected
this.
to the Goon Clown, this backlash would resurface the latter's fascination with Lolly as well as the CP artist Shadman. Eventually, Chris was fired by Mr. Beast after several of his former underage Discord mods accused him of grooming. This resulted in his own Discord leaks where over 500,000 messages were shared online. Once again, Finn wasn't actually connected to this at all.
That's definitely someone who's mentally ill, to be frankly honest.
But his proximity to now 2 disgraced trans influencers was enough for accounts like ValidEls to imply he was through guilt by association. This thread, which got over 16,000 likes, contained blatant misinformation, such as claiming Jean Hollywood groomed the Goon Clown, which is baseless. Still, it was a major catalyst and where most people heard about these horrors for the first time. The very next day, Jude's thread on Kiwi Farms was created, and trolls from the website Soyjack Party raided his chat to ask about GoonGate.
What are your thoughts on Goon
I'm pretty sure I have an
connection to him? Hashtag GoonGate.
Jesus.
Oh,
This is gonna continue for so long. What is?
When Finn did respond, it was after revealing he was still in contact with Jean, preferring to call him Soda. He laughed about how Jean regularly brought up weird fetishes he'd never heard of before. They were on good enough terms that he subsequently got a DM from him on stream.
Why did Soda DM me? Oh, okay, good. It wasn't normal.
This led one concerned donator to ask him about Soda Cat's connection to the scandal. For the sake of clarity, I should emphasize this was before any of Chris Tyson's misconduct was known.
There was a guy that is a genuine monster who is an awful person, was in a Discord server with Soda Cat. He got the monster of a person got doxxed, and like Soda and the guy had spoken like once, I think, like that. Just do it, and it was a gooning server, so some porn server. So one dude on a porn server was a damn pedophile, and then because Soda was there, and me and Soda knew each other, and me and Chris from Mr. Beast knew each other, Chris is a bad person. That's how it works. Chris is
yeah, I know
Chris
about the
is
Shadman and the Chris
On
thing.
one hand, this is a fair response to the people claiming that just because they were in a photo together, that meant Jude and Chris were connected to the Goon Clown. The rationale behind that was tenuous and largely pushed by transphobes. Yet by grouping Jean in with them, Jude is now downplaying what his friend actually got caught doing. Watching CP Gooner videos and getting off to the idea of exposing children to explicit material. Jean DM'd the Goon Clown.
Yeah, that's a big no. No, that's pretty bad. Not gonna lie.
Personally about specific EPI creators before fraternizing on a server owned by that pedo for years. You really don't think there were any red flags here? The irony of saying all this immediately after detailing several bizarre degenerate scenarios Jean told him about isn't lost on me either. Yes, it's important not to overstate the adult star's guilt, but it's also extremely important not to downplay what he actually provably did. And frankly, if you're going to promote someone like that to your wider audience, that's squarely your responsibility. Following Chris Tyson's accusations, Finn released a formal video responding to GoonGate. Jude reiterated he wasn't aware of any wrongdoing, although he talked with Chris about HRT and hentai in the past. But in light of this new info, he would be distancing himself from the ex-Mr. Beast associate.
But under no circumstances should a child have ever heard that.
Jude also discussed Soda Cat's connection to the Goon Clown.
And shortly after that controversy, communication very quickly slowed with both of them.
I apologize for jumping back and forth a bit on the timeline here.
Okay.
So to make this crystal clear, all references to John Hollywood after this point are from before Finn said they stopped talking. That's ultimately where the Goon Clown scandal ended, at least in what pertains to this video. As mentioned before, GoonGate directly led F1nnster to receive a threat on Kiwi Farms, which resulted in far greater scrutiny going forward.
Kiwi Farms?
They asked very valid questions, like if it was appropriate to show chastity cages on an all-ages stream. To be fair, F1nnster was watching a tongue-in-cheek video by the lock-picking lawyer, so we can give a bit of leeway, until Jude clicks a link from Sissy Suppliers. Finn hides his screen, but continues browsing, spending the next 5 minutes explaining their different cages, while repeatedly name-dropping the site.
They're supposed to be that small and tight. Okay, listen. Sissy Supplies. Oh, I shouldn't have clicked. Oh my god. Hold on. Forgot that I was doing that. Should not have clipped on your Twitch channel. But, you know what? Yes, I can. You know what? F it. I guess supporting this business is supporting me, you know? Can I get a code?
The site obliged, giving Finn his very own discount code. John Hollywood also chimed in during the segment, apparently already having a pre-existing relationship with this company.
He knows the place. He knows you.
I can fix the glitter deficiency.
And apparently there's a lot. There's a lot of different ones in this
They'll
whole
never
thing.
find me.
Nothing. It's soda. Nothing soda's out of pocket. I guess so.
The root of the issue is that a once all-ages stream was now chock full of sexual innuendo. Even innuendo is a stretch. They were straight up promoting adult toy websites. I think it would be uncharitable to say there wasn't a noticeable demographic shift at this point, and we'll explore that more in depth later on. The last Minecraft video on F1nnster's main channel was posted in 2023, and he expressed feeling burnt out playing the game as a job. Well, 3 years later, there still haven't been any new uploads. Jude spelled it out explicitly in an interview with The Gamer. If you stream stuff like that, you tend to get fans of the game watching it. And so, if I attract a younger audience, then I can't talk as openly about what I'm doing. Where you have people that are more into adult content, they might watch me for that. It's not a community I want meshing. I do have to give him credit for recognizing this as an issue, considering what he planned next. On February 7th, F1nnster was suspended from Twitch for the prolonged touching of female breasts, occurring when he was fixing his bra. This unexpected ban, and Jude's declaration he was the first male to be banned for female-presenting body streaming, made massive waves across the web. His tweets about the situation reached 140,000 likes. He was able to get in contact with staff for more specific details on what not to do. The suspension only lasted 3 days, and he couldn't have asked for a better exposure, as less than a week later, Jude formally announced he would be starting an OnlyFans.
Okay, f it. It's my account, right? It's my f***ing account. It's my... I made the thing.
After years of waiting, longing, salivating, just to see a little bit more skin, Kyle of the Painkillers Already podcast and formerly FPS Russia could finally undress the man of his dreams, all for the low price of $20.
Everyone I've shown your photos to, I start off by saying, hey, tell me what you think of this person. And I just show them your photos, and they're like, ooh, she's pretty. And I'm like, yeah, right? Let me show you one of her videos. My ears say no, but my cock can't hear, so.
Within the first week, F1nnster reached the top 0.01% of creators on the platform. Before long, Finn was looking to hire a dedicated photographer. At the beginning, this page consisted of lewd cosplay shoots with no nudity or sexual activity. There were rare
Your mom
glimpses
looks like a
of
black
wiener,
male from
but
Zimbabwe.
fans thought it was overpriced for what it was due to it costing extra. Still, people were coming in droves to pay for it, so can you blame them? Maybe. The more parasocial were paying just for a direct line to talk to F1nnster.
The parasocial. I see.
A month later, he went viral after doing a risque photo shoot with Belle Delphine. In May,
Damn,
Jude
Belle
donated
Delphine.
$50,000 to GenderGP, the only private provider of healthcare for trans youth in the UK. The online clinic is based out of Singapore and operates internationally. This donation was made.
Can you repeat that one more time?
GenderGP, the only private provider of healthcare for trans youth in the UK. The online clinic is based out of Singapore and operates internationally. This donation.
How odd. How very odd that is right there, huh? It's kind of a little bit weird, you know? I'm just saying, you know?
Was made with the help of Ten Muses and had been in the works since 2022, implying new arrangements with the sugar daddy were still being made, albeit behind the scenes. After spending so much time going through all of these different conversations, now seems like a good time to explore where Finn was at in his day-to-day life. A reoccurring question among curious viewers at the time was if and when F1nnster started taking HRT. The answer is somewhat complicated. You see, technically, he began attempting hormone replacement therapy on October 23, 2022. Jude started applying estradiol estrogen in gel form to his skin, as well as raloxifene. Jude chose raloxifene in particular due to it blocking breast growth receptors, stating he was terrified of getting boobs. However, due to his inexperience and inconsistency, this process had minimal effect.
And then someone that was also on it told me that they were pissing blood, and I went, oh, okay. And I went, I'm good, I'm all right. Okay, let's maybe not do that.
That changed in the summer of 2023 when he met trans YouTuber and OnlyFans model Big Icky, real name Ashley. The two began dating as she started regularly appearing on stream.
Me and Ashley went on. We met each other because we found out we lived in the same city, and then we spent every single day from that point up until like 4 or 5 months into the relationship in the same room. Like we never left each other. She always like came over to my place, and then she moved in in 3 weeks.
Ashley had a sizable channel of her own about her journey transitioning, giving advice on HRT and how to dress like a girl. It was through her guidance that Finn would get a more proper regimen, learning the correct doses and how frequently to take them. This started about a month after they met, meaning Finn properly began taking HRT in August of 2023.
It was my dad. He said, hello, son.
Do you look proud?
No. Surprisingly not. But in fact, he said, hello, hey son, I'm on a mission. I don't care what you look like. And then I opened the door fully in the maid dress and he went...
Jude and Ashley would eventually start filming OnlyFans content together, just stopping short of hardcore content. These lines were slowly crossed as by the end of the year, Finn had multiple videos performing on adult toys. As for Twitch, Finn began drinking more heavily, leading to personally embarrassing moments.
Oh, he also started drinking as well?
Well, I know when I'm drunk, and that's me staring through my monitor at nothing.
That fall, Jude planned to undergo septoplasty, a procedure used to correct a deviated septum. As a result, he was on hiatus, citing both the operation and mental health reasons. However, he wound up canceling the surgery after being sketched out by the hospital staff. On September 10th, F1nnster went live, visibly breaking down on camera. He revealed that he suffered from clinical depression, having been diagnosed a few months prior.
I got I went to a doctor. I got a little diagnosis for clinical depression a few months back.
This led into Jude confessing he didn't like how he looked.
Do you dislike that you're feminine, or just like that you're masculine, or something in between? It's just like a general thing. Estrogen deficiency. It's probably that. Eyebrows are nice. Guys, I really hate how I look. Well, your eyebrow. Well, listen, all hope is not lost. Those eyebrows, you're looking poggers.
Finn had just gotten back from Insomnia, a gaming convention in Birmingham where he spoke to many fans in person. Hearing stories of how he helped them with their struggles reminded him of his original reason for doing social media, to help people. That included meeting a suicidal trans person who said Finn's sponsorship of GenderGP had saved their life. The stream loses focus after this as he reminisces on the past.
Hey, what? Is anyone aware of something that happened on March 3rd? Anyone aware of something that happened on March? Anyone know? I was doing Minecraft for this entire time, by the way. Like, all of this, like, I started streaming, like, here. Like, right here when it goes up, I started streaming around there, and then this was all the Minecraft days. Man, that's depressing. Jesus.
While he said he'd be taking weeks off for his mental health, he returned to Twitch on the 20th for a sleepover stream. Similarly, his girlfriend Icky had a mental health episode on Instagram. Jude streamed 11 more times in the last months of 2023, as his schedule noticeably slowed down. He had taken a month-long sobriety break as prep for his surgery. Now he was on meds that mixed badly with alcohol. In November, he almost died from overdrinking, passing out and nearly drowning in his own
I
vomit.
see why other CCs do not want to touch this story. You got to tip the toe a lot, the topics, to not get the LGBT mafia on you. And it's just a dark story. It is a pretty dark story, I'm not gonna lie.
Thankfully, Ashley was there to turn him over after he passed out. Finally, Jude planned to pursue ketamine therapy for his depression. It would be administered in a clinical setting in London. This didn't end up happening, so he'd continue looking for a way to get the drug. Jude also tried seeing an EMDR therapist, short for eye movement desensitization reprocessing, but he stopped sessions after being asked to remember a traumatic relationship.
What this guy did was he went, we're gonna tackle that issue. I want you to think about the worst it ever was. I want you to think about the worst the worst that relationship ever got for a couple minutes while he's doing this, right? He's gonna say, can you rate a scale of, like, uncomfy on a, like, how, like, scared you feel on a scale of 1 to 10. And I was like, after the, like, he did it for 30 seconds, and immediately I am just bawling my fucking eyes out. I am in tears.
During this period, he continued making OnlyFans videos, posting a special one on Christmas. Meanwhile, Kiwi Farms uncovered years-old logs from Finn and YouTuber Count Dankula's Discord server. It offered a snapshot as to what he was like from late 2019 to 2020. Lyra, don't talk to me. I am in the middle of my 12th sissy task. The sissy shit claimed many victims. Baiting the feminization market is a strat. I feel like it was worth it. The donos, man. I haven't fapped to me as a woman, but there probably will be a day I will. Sorry, what? I can't hear you. I'm too busy sucking BBC and wearing lingerie. I'd argue
Alright.
I have the biggest tits on the server.
Okay.
Been not on HRT yet? Not quite. If HRT didn't fuck up 90% of what I like about being a guy, then sure. It f***ing shrivels your dick up and makes you emotional. Don't need that. Jude left the Discord years before these resurfaced, and the people still there had soured on him. Dankula himself responded by stating he'd been filled in on Finn's new friends and unfollowed him because of it. It seems Jude was made aware of this as he tried to rejoin the server several times, only to discover he had been banned. On March 1st, 2024, Jude uploaded a video for F1nnster Live simply titled Coming Out. After years of public speculation,
Oh yeah, I saw this popped up on my feed or so a while ago, but I never watched it though.
and personal turmoil looking for a label that fits, F1nnster came out as gender fluid. In the video, he explained that he'd been taking HRT, but still preferred for people to use the he/him pronouns. And just to be clear, I will be using both pronouns going forward, as F1nnster said he's okay with it. In addition to being gender fluid, Jude also identifies as bisexual.
I don't think anyone should feel pressured to come out, and I get that I'm definitely, like, top of the tier list for this guy's probably trans. I just want to be able to talk more openly about stuff. The easiest thing would be to just not do this, to keep cross-dressing forever, but I want to change.
Jude discussed making a pros and cons list before taking HRT, and claimed there weren't really many cons. He also acknowledged the possibility of potential monetary factors in this decision.
I know it's stupid, but I wanted to say it. I did factor in the whole, like, I wonder if doing streaming and the money that's kind of attached to it is the reason I wanted to do this. Like, is it warping my brain? I did think about that. I've streamed for years and it's been my entire life and I've made a lot of money off it, and I wonder if that's
what's affecting me and making me want to do this, and it's not.
In a follow-up titled I'm Trans Now, Jude elaborated on the effects estrogen had on his brain.
Having no testosterone in your system did such an insane thing with me of like, I'm not quickly frustrated anymore. I don't get angry to the extent I got angry before, even close. Like, I wouldn't even say even half the amount. Having estrogen in your system fixed so much of my mental health.
And with that, Jude had formally come out as transgender, but also gender fluid and bisexual. You know what? I'm just gonna move on because not much really changed after this. It seems like the video was mainly to clarify where he was at and make what was already known explicit.
Yeah, exactly.
Things stayed pretty low profile after this until March 30th, 2024, when F1nnster uploaded a video titled I Got Doxxed.
Whoa.
It focused on an article by The Times, a daily British newspaper dating all the way back to 1785. Their reporting fixated on his donation to Gender GP and the assistance he had from 10 Muses. It read, Puberty Blocker Clinic accepted 20K donation from Sugar Daddy. Finn accused the Times of revealing his full name, although it's not hard to find as he registered several companies including F1nnster Ltd back in 2018. That, along with how famous he had become, makes me question if you can even call it a dox. Still, most came out in support of him, ignoring the sugar daddy or reducing 10 Muses to a US businessman. In his response, Finn also discussed how Gender GP had fallen out of favor within the trans community. The for-profit online clinic faced backlash after a significant change in conduct, including claims of untrained personnel and the alleged use of AI. As a result, Jude revealed plans to create a non-profit alternative. However, this effort was halted after Parliament banned puberty blockers for children. Still, Jude's announcement sparked backlash from right-wingers like Libs of TikTok and Joshua Connor Moon, owner of Kiwi Farms. Finn replied to the latter directly on stream, who by then had been suspended off Twitter.
This guy was, or is the owner of Kiwi Farms, if you've heard of it. It's basically, I had to get told about the guy, so I googled him.
Josh had written a long thread making numerous claims about Finn and transgender people in general. He raised concerns over F1nnster's Discord server being open to minors. Finn admitted this, but only because it was inevitable with a public server. He pointed out that not safe for work topics were banned and explicitly called helping teens find their sexuality f***ing disgusting.
In it, there are multiple public channels under the Rainbow Road to help teens, that's so f***ing disgusting, find their sexuality. Again, f***ing disgusting, and we don't allow it.
As part of this rebuttal, Finn also said that he was asexual, having mentioned his very low sex drive in the past. Although I thought he just said that he was bisexual, you know what, never mind.
The next one is this. He also profits through sexual gratification. Interesting. I'm asexual. I wonder who told him that. Oh, f***ing no one! I wonder if he'd do research.
Josh also brought up his connection to John Hollywood, leading Finn to fully disavow him for his quote-unquote yikes moment.
I know Soda's not into that, obviously. I've known them personally for a really long time, and I know that they're not. But even still, the things that were said to that person was like actively joking about minors, and I don't know, man. It's a bit, you know, you can see where I'm coming from, right? It's a bit like, you know, it's a yikes.
Shortly after, Finn was targeted by Soyjack Party, who found his home address and sent him pizzas. Later that month, Jude discussed what drugs he was currently taking. He underwent several sessions of ketamine therapy at high enough doses to cause hallucinations. Jude also expressed interest in trying other substances, including illegal ones, but he was hesitant to take anything he couldn't talk about on the internet. On June 22nd, F1nnster collabed with YouTuber and former Dream SMP member Jack Manifold. They streamed a You Laugh You Lose challenge together with a viewer-funded prize pool. Finn negotiated for Jack to cross-dress on stream if the pool made £3,000. Finn later donated £1,000 himself. Interestingly, during this discussion, a familiar name would re-emerge to donate.
Oh yeah, 10 Muses is in the chat, donated $1.
That was the guy.
Who donated $500,000.
Yep. 30 grand. You'd do it for a month.
I mean, I've got to go away for the next 2 weeks. Even for 30 grand, I'm not dressing as a woman at VidCon. However, once I return on stream for the next 30 days, a woman for the next 30 days, 30 grand? Sure. On stream?
30.
Sure.
The one-off cross-dressing stream wound up happening after Finn and Jack met up in real life. With 10 Muses back in the spotlight, between the article and this recent donation, many were curious as to who exactly this mysterious wealthy donor was.
Yes, who is this person? I want to know who this random person, Saudi Arabian prince looking ass, is donating this absurd amount of money, dude. Like, this is concerning amount of money.
Kiwi Farms became dead set on figuring out his identity, but as we'll see, they were far from the first to make such an attempt. Questions over his background and how he could afford these massive donations started shortly after he appeared. Whenever this was asked in F1nnster's subreddit, the topic was discouraged. 10 Muses is daddy, and we should respect his privacy, rather than collecting the crumbs of details like we are farming kiwis. In short, they were telling people to not ruin the good thing they had going. Only a few details were known about 10 Muses, that 10 was American and some kind of surgeon.
Singaporean.
Just a doctor.
Okay, well, 10 is a big fancy American doctor with a ton of money, apparently. Ladies, he's single, by the way. He's done every surgery from breast augmentation to a partial nephrectomy. Motherfucker cut out a tumor out of someone's organs.
He was literally the real-life Dr. Don Wario. However, in September 2022, he called in Finn's stream revealing his voice for the first time. This was the same stream Jude's dad showed up in earlier.
Hello.
Hello? You gonna, do I get an explanation now? Someone said daddy's home.
Daddy's home.
But the most we would learn came from other prominent members of the community, bringing us all the way back to 416 Hobbit.
Alright, it's Finn time.
10 and 416 had collabed in the past, with the former voicing a news reporter in the Democracy Fails for F1nnster video. In November 2022, 416 uploaded The Conspiracy Was Real, which begins with a shot of a log cabin at night during a blizzard. It then cuts to show Hobbit in a wheelchair watching Jude. The video dramatizes Hobbit coordinating donations with 10, who in contrast is depicted at a beachfront property on a tropical island. They're shown texting each other ways to get her attention. He just glossed over my gifted subs. She did. 10 decides to help him out, donating 1,000 with the message, "Hey Hobbit, nice edit today by the way."
Thank you for the $1,000. Jesus Christ. Also, hello, Hobbit. He didn't even say hi to me! He gave me $1,000 and said hi to Hobbit!
The plan succeeds, and Hobbit corrects himself after using the he/him pronouns. Evidently, the two sugar daddies bonded over their love for Finn and became friends.
What the hell? Are you serious? The two sugar daddies were bonding with each other? Man, dude, this is... I joke around or so about the sugar daddy ship, but man, dude, this scares me, to be frankly honest.
Fortunately for them, on January 7th, 2023, things came to an abrupt end after Jude uploaded a video simply titled Goodbye. In it, 10 Muses reveals he'd be retiring for the foreseeable future. After donating $500,000 to the femboy, the sugar daddy was moving on with his life to pursue a bucket list of goals.
You want to introduce yourself?
I'm 10.
How come you're leaving?
Well, I decided to stop working and start ticking off some things from my bucket list. Came across you, and it's been great.
On your bucket list, did you have donate $500,000 to a femboy?
I did not. I did not have that. No.
Among the
$500,000. $500,000 to a femboy. That is wild. And that's the voice of the person too as well.
them was climbing the tallest mountain on each of the 7 continents, which 10 had already started with a friend. He also planned to sail around the world on a sailboat by himself, owning an island packet 380. While it would be hard to watch Finn's streams, the two stayed in touch.
That will make it hard for me to watch your streams, but it won't keep us from staying in touch. I'll still let you know how I'm doing, and I'll still want to know how you're doing.
Hell yeah.
The aforementioned donation to GenderGP was first announced in this video, with the $50K to charity being his last hurrah. The man had become a beloved member of the community, so viewers were genuinely sad to see him go. That included 416 Hobbit, who despite speaking to him in private was mostly left in the dark. There was still much he didn't know, and this curiosity led Hobbit to make another video on April 17th, 2023, Finding 10, the Sugar Daddy Search. This took the form of a mockumentary hosted by Jennifer Chan. Chan is played by Little Cha Siu, creator of IsItGirlMonth.com.
Ten Muses first reached out to me when I posted a stream highlights video that he genuinely liked. We've chatted often since then, but all of that changed when he left. I've lost complete track of him. I mean, Finn says that he talks to him all the time.
Did you ask him where Ten is?
There's no point. Finn doesn't actually respond to DMs.
Much of, if not the majority of this account is fictionalized, but his interactions with other figures in the community give insight to who was watching at this point. Hobbit introduces the idea of a council, a group of stream personalities Jude confides in and trusts. The newest member, TY, would direct him to Stavamore, Finn's head chat moderator.
Hobbit. How can I help you?
I don't think we've ever talked before, Stav.
Not face to face, no, and chat gets very busy during streams, so...
Well, Tiwi told me you can help me.
A council?
Do you know where 10 is?
I think I need to speak to Tiwi about the protocols. I'll make a note of that. Well, 10 Muses has left the chat. You know this. You saw the goodbye video. If you need to, I can send you a direct link to it.
No, it's not. It's all right. You know, I know all about it. You know, bucket list, the whole thing.
The investigation leads him to fly out to Hawaii in an attempt to track down 10 sailboat. Sadly, this lead turns up nothing. The journey is presumably a tongue-in-cheek travel vlog while he was on vacation. Once Hobbit flew home, he gets back on a call with Stav to confront him on his info.
Hobbit.
Stav, I'm back. I couldn't find the boat.
Well, yes, I'm sorry about that, Hobbit. The information about 10 was updated whilst you were in Hawaii. I didn't want to break it to you then, after you'd flown that far.
What changed?
Well, Finn said that ship has sailed on stream, and my team thought that meant the obvious.
But just as he's about to hang up the towel, he gets an incoming call from 10 Muses himself.
You don't seem to understand, Hobbit. You're not going to find me, but I can find you. In fact, I know where you are right now.
How?
What the fuck?
I mean, I think people know I'm in Canada, but I've kept my location fairly secret.
I have my ways, Hobbit. Now, goodbye.
At the very end, Hobbit pulls out his folder on 10 Muses from a filing cabinet. One of the other files you can see references SodaCat. This bizarre video demonstrates that F1nnster's audience by this point were creepy old men, who made up the most prominent members of his community, along with a couple of trans people here or there. While clearly in jest, this video reflected how the donor's mysterious departure captured many's curiosity. But there still wouldn't be a serious attempt to identify him until over a year later in July of 2024. Kiwi Farms users resorted to legally dubious methods such as sifting through data breaches. This eventually led them to an answer of who the mystery person was, a 57-year-old Texas investor and physician. Several details lined up, including that this person was an MD with an office listed online. While in my opinion, the Kiwi Farms evidence of this being F1nnster's benefactor is extremely convincing, as we'll see going forward, I do want to make it clear it hasn't been outright confirmed. So due to this, I made the editorial decision to simply refer to him as the Doctor for the rest of this video, instead of listing his real name. The Doctor is a board-certified diagnostic and interventional radiologist with over 20 years of breast imaging experience. He moved to West Texas in 2002. In addition to women's health and imaging, he is involved in medical staff leadership. To provide one little caveat, there was still plausible deniability of this being the mystery man. Users found this doctor had a wife and multiple kids, with the oldest now being 34 years old. As the Farms would soon discover, his eldest had a long history online under the username Carrie, participating in furry roleplay and writing fanfiction on LiveJournal. But perhaps the biggest twist came from Carrie's Reddit account, in which they learned she now identified as a trans woman. This revelation threw the entire thread for a loop. To some, it could be interpreted as Carrie using her father's account to support F1nnster. After all, it would make sense if she was more knowledgeable about trans issues. But for others, it implied something darker. If unrelated, it's an insane coincidence that the kid of a secret sugar daddy who paid an exorbitant amount of money to make a 22-year-old live as a woman full-time, even offering boob
maniac.
implants, just so happened to also be trans. Given what little we know about Ten, that he is a wealthy businessman and doctor, if the docs was correct, it simply had to be the father and not the son. Immediately after Kiwi Farms discovered this information, Ten Muses deleted all of his public-facing accounts. It's unclear if the doctor and his wife are estranged, but leaks show she signed up for conservative news sites. They even met Jordan Peterson together after buying VIP tickets for an event. Another interesting development was that in June of 2023, after Ten's public farewell, Finn showed messages indicating they had hung out in real life. These messages resurfaced after the docs. What the f***? Sorry, been unresponsive, by the way. Ten's last day here was yesterday. Just woke up to him leaving. House too quiet. Miss him. Frowny face. Discussion of this new information was limited in F1nnster's community. As far as I'm aware, neither Ten or Jude responded publicly, likely to avoid giving it attention. This is where the story of Ten Muses ends publicly, though I'd be surprised, given their friendship, if they weren't at least still communicating behind the scenes. It really can't be understated how much more sinister of a light it paints on their previous interactions. Let me paint you a picture. A millionaire who got his wealth doing breast imaging dropped $500,000 on a young 22-year-old, bribing him to dress up as a woman full-time. It escalated to full-on daddy dom baby girl roleplay, to the point he was giving Jude timeouts in a pink plastic children's chair he gifted, after trying to pay for breast implants the two met in person. Now, the former Minecraft streamer who once insisted he was cis and heterosexual was on HRT and had developed a sexual interest in men. It's been a long journey, so let's check back in on where F1nnster's OnlyFans and career are at nowadays. A few days after coming out as trans in 2024, Jude revealed his full nether region on OnlyFans for the first time. Him and Ashley also began filming hardcore scenes, released as pay-per-view content, which you have to pay for individually on top of a subscription. Finn refers to his OF model as the Battle Pass, as he enjoyed gamifying.
This person made a battle pass for their fucking OnlyFans stuff? Oh my god.
The process. This faced backlash due to poor communication, as many felt they were being cheated. There were even allegations he signed with an agency to use AI to respond to messages. It became so contentious that mods started deleting threads complaining about this on Reddit, later apologizing and clarifying there was no agency as Finn was just lazy. Ashley and Jude began filming with other people, including a cis man named Vlad.
I remember this. I remember that Vlad and them were talking too as well.
April 2025, Finn shot his first not safe for work video with a man, with it being the aforementioned Vlad the Impaler.
They recorded a fucking sex video? What the fuck? I didn't even knew that. What the hell?
By then, Finn had moved into a new house and broken up with Ashley, although the two stayed close friends.
I thought Vlad was straight because he had a girlfriend, no? Or maybe he's bi too.
Jude also had a few notable crossovers with other creators. For example, he met up with Pyrocynical, who wore a furry mask while Finn walked him on a leash. Finn also did a video with Freddie, a fellow British crossdresser, dubbing him his replacement. He used a similar title when dolling up Jack Manifold. When several former acquaintances from his Minecraft days got outed for various accusations, he remarked on how common it was.
I have been friends with at least 3 people that have been outed as fucking weirdos.
In April of 2025, F1nnster sponsored 32 one-year-long scholarships for trans voice training with Seattle Voice Lab. Then in November, he announced his long-awaited nonprofit health service for trans youth, setting up the online clinic and .health. Despite these steps, Jude has remained adamant that he doesn't want to be a representative for trans people. I delayed coming out specifically to avoid people thinking of me as a voice for them, when I'm not nearly informed enough to be that. It's personally fulfilling to help the community where I can. I'm not going to stop that because people find me annoying. In January of 2025, Finn announced plans to get facial feminization surgery. He explained it was due to insecurity over how his face looked at different angles.
Facial feminization? You can actually do that? I didn't even know you can do that.
And most of all, overhead lighting. It was in part because Jude had always been insecure about his nose.
Here is me from the side. I despise my side profile. Also, my god, the resolution. As you can see, nose is kind of straight, but with a bit of a thing, a bit of the concave, and then the same sort of thing with this, right?
F1nnster would end up seeking help from Facial Team, one of the top international providers for facial feminization surgeries. The operation took place a month later in Spain, where he was accompanied by Ashley. Yet this ended up being an extremely traumatic experience, one they recounted at length on stream.
The nurses that worked at the hospital that I was recovering in, dog!
You see, when communicating with Facial Team, all the people they spoke to knew English. But once they got to the hospital, all the building's nurses only spoke Spanish. This made it extremely difficult to communicate or understand their instructions, which was worrying given it related to drug, surgery, and his overall health.
That's kind of scary, I'm
Regardless,
not
on
gonna
the
lie.
first day, things started smoothly. They put Jude under while Take On Me, a favorite song of his, played in the background. When he spoke up, there was an hour of bliss until the anesthetic wore off. Then it was followed by what he called the worst pain he had ever felt in his life. Covered in bandages, Jude recounted his head being nothing but numbness and anything that wasn't, searing in pain. One concern he raised was over inadequate painkillers. Jude occasionally took a prescribed sleeping med, which made Ashley concerned about mixing them with the downers. So at first they administered 1 gram of paracetamol or Tylenol every 8 hours. The next 6 hours were described as total agony. He wasn't hooked up to any machines. Jude had to urinate in a cardboard jug that Ashley then disposed of herself. It got so bad that Finn began screaming, "Sedate me," over and over again. The nurses did come back, but to tell him to shut up because he was scaring the other patients. Eventually, Finn got up and tried to leave, wandering around the halls while mumbling in broken Spanish. After some deliberation, they pumped him full of a cocktail of painkillers. F1nnster was knocked out so badly from this that Ashley was terrified he might stop breathing or choke on his own vomit in the middle of the night. Despite all this, F1nnster was somehow satisfied with Facial Team and the actual surgery. As you can tell from the clips I've shown, while recovering from the surgery, Jude has waited to reveal his new face on stream. Although we've gotten glimpses through more curated platforms like Twitter and OF. In 2026, Finn has noticeably slowed down on streaming and has discussed the possibility of retiring in a series of now-deleted tweets. "You're a rich asshole who perpetuated the fetishization of trans women by playing into the whole 'actually I'm a guy he bit for years. There's nothing to your personality or content, and if it weren't for the fact that you used to be a guy, you would be nothing. I did benefit from the fetishization of trans women when I was cross-dressing and knew nothing about the world. Worth noting 100% of this viewership left when I came out a few days ago. I'm edging retirement by only posting what I feel like. It's been nice. My job is to show my dick to the internet. Fetishization was here before I was, and will be after I'm gone. I get it's selfish to hyperfocus on a single charitable cause, but if I keep giving money to trans people, I feel like it justifies my cringe." As for if F1nnster would ever return to making Minecraft content, he has said he feels a bit weird to make a Minecraft video when he makes porn for a living, which is understandable. And that brings us to the current day, with no one really knowing what will happen next in the streamer's life. And with everything laid out, I think you can now understand why I felt the need to start this video off with a disclaimer. While I don't have any agenda on the topic of gender dysphoria discourse online, it's hard to not look at the story of F1nnster and wonder if he was pushed down a path that he wouldn't have taken if not for his online audience.
I would be curious too, if he didn't have that donation or so, would he actually still be going towards this, towards this pathway?
This is a young man that didn't come from money and had aspirations of being a full-time Minecraft content creator. When he dressed like a woman, he got attention and as a result, revenue. Then as he upped the stakes, people would donate to have him live more of his life as a woman. Finally, when a rich man started throwing life-changing wealth for him to take the full plunge, his audience cheered it on. To quote the Smiths, that joke isn't funny anymore. Having covered...
It definitely felt like he got pressured into that because of his audiences. Nah, cause like I would not change no matter what. I don't give a fuck. You know, if you send me money or so, I'm gonna play that one meme or so. You just got robbed.
Adult entertainers on this channel quite a bit, I've seen a similar theme throughout. Starting out stripping or doing lewd photo shoots, then doing a vanilla scene, then getting thrown extra money to film something more depraved when you're fully wrapped up into it. At some point you have to look past all the therapy speak about sexual liberation and ask yourself, am I being manipulated here?
It does really feel like it. It actually, wow, that was actually crazy, to be honest. It really did feel like it was being,
if you followed the world of Minecraft live streaming, there's a good...
No, it definitely does feel like, now this is about his perfect example that everyone got a price to sell their soul. That is very true. Everyone does have a price or so. For me, I don't. I have too much integrity to me, in my personal opinion. But he was young when he first received a large amount of money. Yeah, of course he was, you know. But thank God I did not stream back then, you know. Thank God I had, like, worst internet than literally anyone in Africa, to be honest. I lived a normal life, to be frankly honest. Everyone else over here had a normal life, so nobody does streaming or anything like that, so... Yeah, you know, that is a thing or so. That is kind of wild to hear the history of F1nnster. So this is the history of F1nnster, huh? Became a Minecraft YouTuber to basically a porn star. Never thought that would be a correlation that I would think of, you know, having those two things coming out of my mouth in the same sentence. You need every 10 subs for it to be played. You got robbed. Well, we'll see. But the problem is, like, I gotta first have to get a phone in order for me to get access to my Twitch account again. So for overall, you know, we're here. So wow, what a long ass VOD, to be honest. What a that is a pretty crazy VOD. This video probably won't be uploaded until maybe Thursday, Friday, or something like that. Maybe Saturday or something, you know? Maybe just for, like, one video upload for that one. Because this is a pretty long one, I'm being honest with you. Nah, I hate that he was young excuse, old and young, and fall into the trap. Only way to avoid the trap is to stick to your moral code. Yeah, for me specifically, you know, I wouldn't do this, to be honest. I would not let, you know, the amount of money... Like, I'd be fucking surprised, I'd be scared, and I'd be shocked at the end of the day, seeing that much money getting donated to me. And be like, hey, you know, do you want me to return this back to you? Because that shit fucking scares the fuck out of me, dude. No, siree. I don't think I want anything like that, in my personal opinion. But yeah, anyways, that's the end of the video. And it's very interesting to kind of hear the history of F1nnster, where he came from, where it was a joke, to now basically being, well, a porn star now. So, but yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the video. And honestly, crazy. Crazy indeed. And peace.